okay, because I created this character called New Jack, and sometimes New Jack would be awake when New Jack was supposed to be asleep. And people would think that they knew me, but they didn't know me. It was just this fool you saw running around on TV, diving off of stuff and killing himself for the sake of a fan and an applause and an ECW chant. You know what I mean? But to know me, didn't nobody care about that. You know what I'm saying? Then they never did, because all they wanted was to see me go out there and either had kill somebody or somebody try to kill me. You know what I mean? And they didn't care about nothing else. And when me and her became friends was when we started talking. And when she told me that, that meant more to me than probably anything that I've heard since I've been in this business, and I've been in this business since '92. You know what I mean? And it allowed me to just take a step back and look at myself as a person, you know what I'm saying? And then look at myself from a business standpoint to see that, you know, a lot of the stuff that I was doing, I didn't have to do, you know what I mean? I can't go back. I'm not sitting here like saying, you know, asking nobody to be like, oh, Pro New Jack, because, bro, you would never hear that from me. But my whole thing was because I had told you, you know, when we had talked, it was just certain things I want to talk about. That was one of the things that I wanted to get out there, because, like I said, it took somebody that didn't even know me to tell me, well, people will not come up to you and say that to you because maybe they was afraid that you might try to do something to them physically or whatever. And it took this little bitty woman to come up to me and say something to me that made more sense than anything I think I've ever heard since I've been in this business. And that's what made me and her friends to this day. Okay? And the only other female that I could honestly say that's cool with me like that would be Dawn Marie. You know what I mean? But it's just she came to me talking about Terri in a way that it meant more to me, you know, than anything anybody has ever said to me, you know, in this business. Because people are like, oh yeah, you know, New Jack, you know, he crazy. You know, New Jack don't do it. New Jack ain't got good sense. Well, New Jack got a whole lot of sense. You know what I mean? It's just that, you know, I tried to put it out there the way I put it out there, and a lot of times, bro, I thought I knew stuff that I didn't know, and there was chances I was taking, even risking my life, you know, to do stuff, you know, to satisfy a fan. And, I mean, like I said, when the light goes out, you know what? Put that character in the bag and call it a day. You know what I mean? And it took me, like I said, 17 years to get woke up to the fact that what I was doing, besides killing myself, was being somebody all the time that I didn't have to be.
Now, Jack, I actually have a question for you.
What?
I know you worked with Smoky Mountain Wrestling and got to work with Jim Cornette. Recently, Jim Cornette made threats against Vince Russo. What are your thoughts on the situation and Jim Cornette in general?
I could care less what he said about Vince Russo. I mean, honestly, really, that was like a dumb question, but honestly, I could care less what he said about Russo. And if he made a threat to him, it was by what? By way of the phone, by way of a computer, by way of YouTube.
Email.
Okay, wow. So he should really be worried about that, right? I mean, seriously. That's almost like you emailing me saying, New Jack, when I see you, I'm going to smack you upside your head. And you live somewhere like near California or Seattle or somewhere. Am I worried about that? No. So what are my thoughts of it? I don't have any, because I mean it don't mean nothing. It don't mean jack. It don't mean nothing at all.
Understandable. Hey, I was actually also wondering who came up with the idea for you to start teaming with Mustafa originally?
Dude, you are asking me questions that are like 100 years old, and I mean, honest to God, I have answered these questions so many times. I'm not going to even answer it no more, because that's like Jesus Christ. Me and Mustafa, dude, he been in the business longer than me. It was 17 years ago when I got into it. Whose idea was it? I don't remember. Look at one of my old DVDs, like one I did like about 10 years ago, and I'm sure it's on there. But I really don't. I don't remember.
All right.
That's like asking me who made the first 8-track. I don't know. I don't remember.
Gary, go ahead.
Jack, I want to share a time we spent together with all the fans that are listening. Remember we were at Dr. Mark, the ECW doctor's hospital, the ankle hospital? They were getting ready to
yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, me and Jack are sitting in the hospital. This director is ready to make a movie about Terry Funk in the business. I'm in a halo because I broke my neck. Dr. Mark is sticking a 9-inch needle in Jack's ankle, and the producer just turned white and had to leave the room. It was the funniest motherfucking thing I've ever seen in my life, man.
No, you talking about Barry Blaustein. We did a thing Beyond the Mat, and what it was, when he stuck that thing in my ankle, it was like the size of a nail. And he said, and I was like, God, I was like, bro. And he said, no, Jack. He said, go into character. I said, no. I said, I am in character. I said, it hurts. Because he was sitting there like it's like he was changing gears. You know what I mean? And I was in there about to scream like a damn girl, bro. He was changing gears, trying to get this needle down between my joint. And he was asking me, act like it really hurts. I said, I ain't got to act. I said, I don't have to act. I said, it hurts.
I know, it was funny because he was looking at you hurting, and then he saw me with four bolts attached to my skull.
Yeah. And you walked in there looking like a Christmas tree.
Everybody used to hang their coats on my halo. It was hilarious.
Bro. I mean, even though, it wasn't funny, but honest to God, when you would come in the locker room, and of course it was always either me or somebody else, I'd be like, okay, here come Frankenstein. And he come in the locker room, and people start hanging hats. And come on his halo.
You remember when Paulie first saw me? He turned white as a ghost, man.
When you came in with that halo?
Yeah.
Gary, I turned white as a ghost when you came in wearing a halo. All right? People that don't normally turn white because we was like, why is he here? And Gary was like, ECW, But I'm thinking like, man, you just got your neck broke. And it was like big ups to him because, everybody was just like tripped because he was even walking. But he came in and actually did a couple of angles with that thing on. And I myself, I refused. I said, it ain't no way I'm going to be a part of that. Because it would be my luck that I'll be the one to do something, and then I like, he broke his neck. See that?
Also, I want to let the fans know. I hope you don't mind me telling them this, but New Jack, everybody thinks he's known as a brawler. But one time we were down the shore, and we were getting ready for the show. We were just hanging out by the ring with Todd Gordon and Paulie. And I remember Jack started doing tackle, drop down, hip toss, drop kick, arm drag. And I remember Todd Gordon sat back and was like, oh my God, I didn't know you could work like that, Jack.
And see, Garrett, that was the funny part. Okay, as far as wrestling, I wrestled in high school, you know what I'm saying? But nobody ever wanted to see me get in the ring and wrestle. Dude, if I would have came in the arena, me and Thomas Riemann did it one time as a joke. And my music stopped, and me and Thomas locked up, snatched the headlock, shoot him off, shoulder tackle, hip hop, whatever. And everybody was like, they started applauding. And then I looked at Tom, and Tom looked at me, and Tom was okay, enough of that. And then they hit my music, and then we just took a little tour around the building. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, you know, I would have got stoned. People would have been, and I don't mean stoned and drunk, but people would have been throwing bricks at me if I would have gotten in the ring and started wrestling. Because nobody wanted to see that. You know, they wanted to see New Jack.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It was very surprising to everybody because, like, I knew it, and Tommy knew it, and certain people knew it, but, like, most people didn't know it. Even in our own locker room, he didn't know.
Dude, I ain't gonna even put him over, but I gotta accuse him not knowing how to do a headlock by somebody that worked with us for years, and I was like, and I couldn't do nothing but make fun of it because I'm just like, again, nobody wanted to pay to see me do that. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to pay to see me do what I did. You know, and then leave the building with this big knot outside my head, you know what I'm saying? Or you know, just then, you know, head busted wide open or whatever. You know, that's what they wanted to see. They didn't want to see that other stuff. You know? So I gave them, you know,
also,
New Jack. That's what they wanted. That's what they got.
That's what they wanted. Also, I was watching ECW Classics a couple days ago, and I saw you do the Eagle's Nest dive on top of Devon Dudley, which looked incredible, I want to say.
Well, which one? Because the first one, the table was pushed back too far. And that was the one where, like, I was, like, running in the air with my arms swinging back and forth. I was trying to gain. Yeah. That was the one where...
You were swimming in the air, baby.
Yes. Hey, well, that was the one where I put the table back. I pushed the table back too far. And I didn't realize it until I was airborne that I was going to fall short of the runway. And that was the first time that I did a dive. That was the first time. And the reason that I started even doing it was because Paulie, which, I mean, you know, there's no heat now, you know what I mean? And, you know, he was mad at it. He had heat with me, and Mustafa was always guilty by association. But Paulie had heat with me for something that I had done, something stupid. And I told Mustafa, I said, I'm going to do something in the match. I said, I ain't going to remember the finish. And he was like, okay, Jack, I got you. I said, just I hope I land the right way. And he said, what you going to do? I said, just follow me on it. So he's like, all right. So that was the first time I dove. And after I did it, then they wanted me to do it every week. And me, like a retard, started walking in buildings, and the first thing I do is look at the highest point of the building to jump off of. You know.
I remember, Jack, I remember in Pittsburgh, you had that huge spot when you went up to, you and the, I forget, one of the Baldies maybe, climbed
Vic
up
Grimes.
to a scaffold.
It was Vic Grimes.
Scaffold. Whoever it was. Once they got up there, he goes, I'm not going. And Jack goes, fuck you, motherfucker, you're going. And Jack went.
Yeah, that was Vic. That was Vic, and it was in Danbury, Connecticut.
I thought it was in Pittsburgh.
It was in Danbury, Connecticut. And I had, the weather was bad, and whoever was driving me that night, we was having problems driving, because I don't know if it snowed or something happened, but I got there a little late, and the police said, I want y'all to do a double bump, both of you, just out. So I was like, all right. And he said, it's a scaffold out there. So I asked Vic, I said, did you go and check the scaffold to make sure, you know, it'll hold both of them? And he said, yeah. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah. He said, it'll hold both of them. I said, okay. And I found out later that he never went and checked.